What up? My name is Ryan Babel, and you're watching JLB Sports TV.
Hey everybody, welcome to JLB Sports TV. I'm Justin Block. I'm joined by my good friend Greg Vissone here for another video. So now that Liverpool are 21 fixtures into the season, and it's the Premier League season, we're a little bit past the halfway point. We wanted to do a mid-season review and look to the future. As it stands, Liverpool, after 21 matches, 13 wins, 3 draws, 5 losses, 42 total points. We're sitting in 4th place, a nice little comfy Champions League spot, and Liverpool have a plus 25 goal difference, which is second to only City at 36. Now going into the season, or really early on the season, we saw Liverpool go 4-3-3, classic 4-3-3, Brendan Rodgers Liverpool, and they grinded out a couple 1-0 victories. They would get the goal in the first half and then just kind of close up shop in the second half. To some supporters, that was a little bit Hodgson-esque. It wasn't really football to them. Well, it was tight, it was tactical, it wasn't fun, but it was winning football, right?
I didn't care.
Yeah.
We beat United, we beat Stoke, we beat Villa, and you had Sturridge scoring the goals.
Yeah, Sturridge was banging in goals in Suarez's absence.
Yeah, we beat United. It was 9 points from 9, top of the table. Who the hell is going to complain when you do it like that? And here's the thing, you compare it to Hodgson, we get freaking results. What the hell
Roy Hodgson did not get results as Liverpool manager. Yeah, and then we kind of moved on to the 3 of the back era when Suarez came back after suspension.
We didn't adjust until after the Southampton loss, which was, you know, they pressed us. The problem we've had all year is with pressing and facing pressure from the midfield.
Right.
Southampton was the first to really do this to us.
And as we've learned throughout the season, they're a quality side. Definitely not one to take lightly.
And it's one that we'll bring up later, but it's a point we'll bring up later. But you know, you had all these players getting forced in. It's not as bad a loss as you think it is. It's the only points we've dropped at Anfield all year, and Anfield has become a fortress again.
That's the point that I really wanted to bring up. Anfield, once again, is somewhere where visitors walk in and they should be afraid of what we can bring to the table. Because you know that, especially at home, Liverpool are going to be going for goals. And you are lucky if you walk out of Anfield without, 3 goals dumped on you that day. Am I correct?
Well, I think you're lucky to walk away with a point to an extent.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're going in and
really to not get embarrassed.
The problem for years is that when you go in, you know, at the start you're intimidated by the This Is Anfield side, by the atmosphere. When sides have gone in lately, before this year, they've gone in inspired by it. Not by the thought of you're facing Liverpool, but by the thought of you're playing in front of one of the best stadiums ever.
I guess.
And it doesn't really intimidate you, it inspires you. Now teams are starting to get intimidated again because we're getting results and we're showing that we're a freaking tough side.
Yeah, we had a 3-year, 4-year stretch where it's like teams come to Anfield and they think, okay, we can definitely get something here. But now it's like they go in and they just hope that they don't get blown out by 3 goals.
That's going to be a big factor when you figure out that we're going to be playing Everton, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, Newcastle, Swansea. All those teams are going to be at home the second half of the year.
Yeah, so we basically have our main Champions League competition. They're coming to our house now, and
that's how we close out this year.
Yeah,
think about that, and not to mention Tottenham, who we beat 5-0.
So basically,
come to our place.
Aside from, I think we have to travel to Old Trafford once. Aside from that, all of the tough fixtures against the superior sides that we're going to be in direct competition with for, 4th place, the title even, they're coming to our house. We're in 4th place right now, with the dirty work for the most part being done already. Am I right?
Yes, and you get all these tough matches at home. You know, maybe we drop a couple of points to the smaller sides away because we are a different team away from home. And we saw that with Stoke. You know, you can't really judge it on the Stoke match, but on the most part, we've dropped points at Newcastle. We've dropped points at Swansea.
We let goals drop in it away from home a lot too.
We had a tough go of it at Sunderland, when they were coming off of sacking Di Canio. But we're a different side away from home. And it's just going to be... You're going to expect to drop points. It's just the way it is.
But going back earlier in the season, I want to talk about the 3 at the back era more, because that was when we really saw SAS, Suarez, and Sturridge fully unleashed, when they can partner up top and play off of each other as strikers. Of course, that led to other deficiencies in midfield and then in defense, because you just can't implement 3 at the back in the middle of a season and expect great results. But it worked out. We didn't drop any points with them, right?
Well,
how many points did we drop with Suarez and Sturridge both inside?
41. We had 41 points out of a possible 48, 85.42%.
So with Suarez and Sturridge both in the side this season, we have taken, what, 85% of the points?
Yes. And
that's an incredible margin.
That's incredible. I'm going to quickly list off.
And Suarez is banging 22 goals.
I'm going to quickly list off the 8 fixtures in which we've dropped points here.
Yeah.
Swansea away, that was a draw. We had no Suarez in the side. Newcastle away, that was the 2-2 game. That was the one where Mignolet had that bit of a weird one.
Yeah.
We played 10 men for the most
part.
And
Newcastle's proved to be a good side this year.
They're a solid side.
They're not shit anymore.
I don't. And you know what? Pardew seems like a decent guy for the most part.
Yeah, I mean,
it's one of those things.
Moving on, then we have the Everton match.
The Everton match, it's a derby. It's 3-3 at Goodison. And
Joe Allen misses. Joe Allen misses the sitter, and
Joe Allen misses the sitter. But on the most part, that was just a fantastic game.
Yeah, it was a derby match.
It was a fantastic game.
And then Arsenal.
You can argue about Barry, possibly being sent off there, but who cares?
And then we had Arsenal.
Well, yeah, Arsenal away. That's the loss.
I feel like that's the match where we were actually just really truly outclassed, start to finish. Arsenal's midfield, dynamic, creative. Sort of attacking from all angles.
Exactly.
We got killed that match. I'm going to be honest.
Those are the only 3 games where we had Suarez and Sturridge and we dropped points.
Yeah.
Then you have what? Chelsea away, you drop it without Sturridge. You have City away, you drop it without Sturridge. Mm-hmm. You have Hull away, you drop it without Sturridge. Southampton at home was without Suarez.
Right.
And only those 3 matches: Newcastle, Everton, and Arsenal away. We dropped points.
Yeah. So. Point being, when Suarez and Sturridge are on the side, there's pretty good odds that we're going to take all the points available. So now that we've survived sort of Sturridge's injury and Suarez's suspension, Sturridge is now back. Hopefully he'll be in the side for as long as Roy Hodgson just doesn't dip his hands into the Sturridge pot and get him injured for some freaking international fixture again. So where do we go from here, though? Because we really haven't seen Brendan Rodgers play Coutinho, Sturridge, and Suarez together at the same time to great effect. I think last season maybe against Arsenal at the Emirates, we saw I think all 3 started together, but we saw Suarez on the wing. Didn't work out as well. Then the 3 at the back area, that was great because Coutinho could play right there, just behind them in attack. But then in midfield there are deficiencies, and then obviously 3 defenders.
I think that the one thing we really need to focus on here. I think that if you really want to utilize them, you play Coutinho on the right, you play Suarez on the left, and you play Sturridge up top. If you really want to go to the 4-3-3 area, or if that, you play those 3. You play Coutinho and Suarez as inside forwards.
So I guess what you're saying is that we play what our friend Stephen Huff has called an amoeba 3, which is where they all just kind of interchange. They're going wherever they want. It's just free flowing.
You play those in a 4-3-3, and then if possible, the only reason why you really stay back off of that is that Raheem Sterling has been playing so well.
Raheem Sterling might be playing Philip Coutinho out of the side, which is shocking.
It's not just that. You also, even before Allen's injury, he was playing him out of the side.
Yeah.
The problem with Coutinho is teams started game planning against him.
Yeah, I do agree there.
They started realizing
he does struggle against physical pressing sides.
When he comes to the side, the problem is this. He comes in and he, comes in as a 20-year-old from Inter. Nobody knows what to expect, and all of a sudden he starts putting in through ball after through ball.
Coutinho did have a lot of space last season to play those through balls. But what happened was around
March, maybe even April, the team started to realize is you play him physical, you play him tough, you get him off the ball, you use your body, he's going to struggle.
The thing with Coutinho this year, with his passing release and his creation, I think he's still one of Liverpool's leading chance creators. For me, what I'm seeing is that he's still playing those same kind of penetrating balls they did last year, but number 1, not as frequently, and number 2, they're overhit a lot. He doesn't have all the time in the world to play these perfect passes, right?
That's because he's got less time on the ball.
Exactly what you said.
The problem is this: you're going to have that. I think the way you fix this is you play maybe Sterling at left back, because I think
left back.
I think
what? Raheem Sterling at left back? Did you just say that?
Hear me out.
All right,
hear me out. I think he could be a great one.
Kill him for this, not me, commenters. But let's hear Greg out.
You got to hear me out. I think he's got the agility on the left-hand side.
Okay.
Quite possibly just zoom past players and be effective.
But as a full-time left back,
I think that you use him effectively for this. I think that if you play him,
I think Alex Sissoko would be a better left back than Raheem Sterling at left back.
But you don't really need to do very much. All you got to do is use your body. You got to make the plays. You got to tackle. The only problem here is that if you really want to discuss it, but you really want to use these players to their effectiveness. Sterling would be able to possibly be a decent left back, and we've used him at left back at times.
Right back maybe.
We've played him at the back.
Maybe, I guess.
The problem is, you get him there, let him make his runs, you cross it in, you have the 3 guys in the middle in the box, you have somebody who can cross it on the outside. Would you rather have him or Sissoko there?
I don't know, I'd probably rather have the guy who plays left back.
I think you. Well, with Sterling being so young,
I understand your point.
But here, and you know, you're going to talk about transfers soon.
Right.
You know, we're going to do it the last 2 minutes, I guess. This is my thought process. Don't deviate from the plan. Don't rush.
Right. Well, let's not get into transfers yet.
Let's not.
I do want to bring out an idea. So that was your left field idea for the day. I'm going to bring in something. So it's not as conventional, but it's not as left field as yours. I think that Rodgers should go, 4 at the back, 3 in midfield, and then go 1-2. It's a narrow shape in attack with the front 6, but that allows your left back and your right back to go forward.
And that's why,
I think it's certainly a possibility to go
you
narrow.
have Sterling on the left in that one.
So I guess our ideas play into each other there quite nicely. So those are our ideas for formations. Gerrard's back too, so you also have to take into account how he's just not mobile anymore. I do think we have really grave concerns in midfield because Steven Gerrard is declined to the point where he's useful on the side. But the thing is, he's just so immobile, and when paired with Lucas, who's also pretty immobile as well, who's really never come back full strength from his various injuries, we do have a mobility problem in midfield, and that allows goals to just come through. It's a Swiss cheese midfield, isn't it?
I think that midfield struggle all year. I think that maybe if you want to have one replacement, maybe you bring out Jan Mbola from Ruben Kazan. But the big thing here is that you need to have the solid midfield, and it's been lacking. Many people question Alberto being brought in.
Which is why I would like to see Joe Allen, Henderson, and Gerrard playing midfield together. I think Joe Allen is a big key to this team in terms of what he can offer in midfield over Lucas.
That's debatable. I can understand it.
Yeah.
I can understand it. Certainly, he keeps possession well.
He keeps possession.
He's incredibly infuriating.
When he played in Lucas's position at the beginning of last season, that was the best Joe Allen form we've seen. He can play there.
Yes, but this is what I would prefer really. I think that if you're going to have a central midfield like that, you at the very least need to have Gerrard in it because you need to have a captain, you need to have a strong head, you need to have somebody organizing the troops.
Which is why I would put Gerrard and then Henderson and Allen just slightly ahead of him, but keeping that narrow shape so that we can still protect Gerrard.
I think that if you buy Mbola, who is apparently unsettled at Kazan.
Well, before we get into some January transfer signings, I wanted to go with you back and talk about how our summer signings are doing, because if you look at the side we have now, in terms of the players that at least play today, it's not all that different from the team that maybe Rodgers even inherited. So we had Aspas come in the summer. He looks totally out of his depth at this level.
I don't think he's out of his depth. I think you need to play a striker regularly for him to get productive.
I think he might be sort of an Asaidi situation where he's coming over, he's struggling his first year, but if he goes out and actually gets some Premier League time, he can show how productive he can be. And Asaidi on loan this season, I think for Sunderland, right?
Yeah,
he's been scoring all over the park.
Yeah, I can't even be upset with this. Well, what else do we have?
We had Mignolet come in, absolutely brilliant. Enough said about Mignolet. We don't have to waste plaudits on him. He gets it enough. Luis Alberto, I wish that he would play more personally. We just had a midfield discussion and we didn't bring up Alberto, but that's because he hasn't played enough really.
The problem with Alberto,
I'd like to see Alberto play
he's a young guy.
A lot more.
He's a young guy.
I like what he offers.
The problem with him is that with Alberto, he doesn't seem to fit. You have a proper footballer there, somebody who wants to keep possession, wants to play it.
But he was Barcelona B's number 9 last season. He played as a center forward in a lot of cases. So
you have somebody there who is a proper footballer in a side that is built around the hoof.
Yeah, I don't think we're built around the hoof, but I do think we still need to figure out what Alberto's best position is, and that may be actually perhaps spelling Coutinho on that left wing and giving Alberto a run out in the number 10 role.
I think you might as well give him a shot.
What are the other signs? We had Thiago Lori, who, despite all the center back just fuck-ups we've had this year in injuries, has not really cracked the side. I don't really know what to make of him there. And who else did we have?
Oh, God, I'm blanking.
And then Victor Moses, the loner, who just has completely been supplanted by Sterling on the side. So Victor Moses has been a bust. Sissoko has come in and been a bust. So we haven't had, a great run of transfer signings.
Well, here's the thing: you bring in these guys as bit part players, you don't expect much from them.
Yeah, I guess
what
Liverpool needs to do, and we can talk about the January window now, is improving the 11. I mean, improving the depth of the squad through improving the 11. So if you have players that come in are instantly impacting the 11, who can slide in right to the 11. That means you push maybe Coutinho to the bench, you push Sterling to the bench, you push maybe Henderson to the bench, you push Lucas to the bench, and once you have guys who are starting now on the bench, and the fact that we're in 4th place. That looks good to me. So we need those impact signings, right?
The big thing is, I think we need just simple depth signings. somebody who can come in and help out. Somebody who can come in and help us get a title push, because with squad rotation is what we're going to need.
Certainly, it's valuable to have, you know, those 7 to 10 million pound players come in for depth, but we need, honestly, like those 20 million pound players that you can just drop into the 11 and then move those guys that are currently in the 11 to the bench and have them come off the bench.
I don't think we need to buy big. I think we just need
to
stick
not in this window, at least.
I think you stay the course.
In this window, like, no buy big players are available. I think, like, in the summer, it'd be good to go after maybe Diego Costa or somebody.
We're not getting Costa.
Yeah, no, but somebody in that range. You understand me?
Yeah, I understand, but we're not getting. I think that right now you stay the course. You try to get fourth like this, and you build this young side that is clearly progressing.
So I guess what we're saying is that don't get excited about too much in January. A long-term target I would also like to see come in is maybe Johan Cabaye. How perfect would Johan Cabaye look in this side? Taking Lucas's place, play him with Jarrod and Henderson, you just have so much movement, so much energy, so much creation. That's the dynamic kind of midfield that Liverpool needs to be building right now.
How much are we paying? Because when...
I would pay $20 million for Cabaye today.
All right, well...
Easily.
I don't think.
What did Arsenal come in with last summer? 30?
10 million, and
they came in with 10.
And Big Sam and oh god, who was it? Yeah, Ashley said, "What part of him do you want to buy?"
But I think if we came in for 20, 25 for Cabaye, I think he's certainly worth that. I guess moving forward now from the signings of January, the second half schedule does shape out in our favor.
Yeah, it totally does. Well, I think that everything's going to play out perfectly fine. Maybe you drop a couple games, maybe you drop a couple points out here and there. But overall, we're in for a decent run.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun second half of the season. Suarez and Sturridge are banging in goals. They've combined for 32 this season, which is absurd. We do have improvements to the side. We do have Sacco and Allen coming back from injury, so I do like where Liverpool is going in the second half of the season. That has been our mid-season wrap-up. Greg, are you excited for the second half?
Roll on.
Roll on. All right, guys. So leave me your comments down below of how you think Liverpool have fared this season so far. Where you think our maybe aspirations are. Are we a contender for the title? Are we in fourth place? Is that really where we belong? Who you want to see brought in January and the summer? And above all, this is the big thing for me. How the hell are we going to play Coutinho, Suarez, and Sturridge together? Because if those are our best three attackers, we got to figure out a way to get those guys on the side, right? All right, comment down below. Let us know. Thank you, Greg, for gracing us with your presence again. I will see you guys next week.